Hello, welcome to another Duel review. This one was sent to me by Matryoshka, who I met on Ladder and who had previous to meeting me, seen my YouTube videos, which was quite cool. We had never interacted before that encounter. We told me they watched my videos, and I thought that was very nice of them. And later on, they took contact with me through the YouTube comments, and now they sent me their own replay. With up here we're playing Chaos Turbo, we're up against another Thunder Dragon deck. We lead with the Sangan. We're gonna try to run it over with the Breaker. That's a very nice hit. Pass. We got the Serpent. Noted. T set pass. T set is a way of describing setting one back row and one monster as it forms a T, the letter. Okay, so here I believe we should use Nobleman, attack, set Faith, set book. And that's what they go for. It would appear we're not playing Spy, as we didn't banish any. Yeah. So up till now, we have agreed on every play. Here, I would cash in the Faith, not to run into any trouble against a future Torrential. We already know our opponent has a Serpent in hand, so Torrential could be triggered at any point. Decides attack first. I think that's a bit worse. We could attack with the Faith as well. I think this signals to me that we're not going to flip the Faith, which I think is a bit weird because then we can't set a second Faith. Of course, we might not be able to do that anyway. Depends, we can book the previous Faith. I would have flipped it and set a new Faith. I think that's better. I think we should progress. Matryoshka decides against it. No other duo, but we know our opponent is a Serpent, so it's not that great. We could lead by flipping safe, Faith, adding the Nobleman, and see what the set is. That makes sense. Yep, I think I agree with this. Now we attack. Maybe we want them to discard first. No, because they know that we're going to attack, but they do not know that we're going to do them. So the hidden information is the duo. So we attack first. It's ever so slightly better, I believe. Nice sequencing from Matryoshka to attack with the breaker first. This means that we're forced to let the Faith clear one of the tokens. And yes, now we go for the duo, I believe. You could claim that we should wait with it, as we have 100 dragons. Yeah, maybe that's better. I'm not so sure. You can probably wait, actually. And here we set the Magician of Faith. It is somewhat tempting though to use the Delinquent Duo while there are no flips in the graveyard for a potential Night Assailant. So I'm not sure what's optimal. When we set Faith, it also gets a bit better to use the duo, so I think I would have used it there. So we top deck Noblemana Crossroads, which obviously is great. I think we should lead with flipping the Faith. This is only worse against a Torrential if it's exactly Sangan, and even then it's not really worse, because even then I'm not sure they would actually flip the Torrential. I think this is a slight sequencing error. I think we should have flipped the Faith first. Not that it matters much. Oh wait, there is no Sangan. Yeah, then we should definitely flip this first. Yeah, I do not see why would ever be better to use the nobleman before. Because we could still do the same play with the duo, just delay the nobleman to hide the information. Yeah, I think this is just worse. But the thing I said about the Sangan, that's not relevant because the Sangan has been used. I forgot about that. So attack with everything after using the duo, of course. So this is just one of those games where Magician of Faith just took over. I think we just pass. Don't think we need to expose anything else to the field. Could have made a case for booking there, but I think we're far enough ahead that we don't need to go for those plays. You could go for a metamorphosis, but we don't really have any way of outing our Thousand Eyes at that point. Except for, I guess, book or ring. So maybe that actually does make some sense. Yeah, I think we should go for the meta here. Because it's not like we're applying much pressure. So yeah, I would just want to eliminate counterplay, force our opponent to trade off resources, because we don't have any bad hits here. Sangan and Serpent are already gone, so I think the meta is pretty clean. Yeah, I think that does look a bit risky, right? Into a ring. Maybe that's not so relevant. I don't know. The book made me feel safe, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. I mean, BLS is starting to look sketchy now for us, but maybe that's not an issue. We're so far ahead that it's unlikely that we lose whatever line we go for. We do play the triple Magician of Faith, and if you play free of a card, it's more likely that you see multiple copies early, which is arguably what won us this game, partially, at least. You could switch this Magician just to play it safe. I think I would. Decides to push the extra 300 points of damage instead. Sets the ring, and I guess we set the scapegoat as well to play around a potential mystical space typhoon, which has already been used as well though. So actually that's not relevant at all. Attack. Yeah, there we go. So on the first game, we drew better and we played fine. Nothing special. Here we have Saturn in Smashing Ground, which looks very weird to me. We have seen the Spy, but Spy is not a card we care for, unless we're on some weird version that I'm not familiar with. So Smashing Ground looks poor. I mean, it kills Chaos Sorcerer, but that's not how we want to answer their threats. We want to answer them with Metamorphosis and or our own Chaos Sorcerer. Yeah, looks good. You could set Ring there instead of the Scapegoat. I think I would, because I don't want the Dekoichi to be ran over by, say, a Breaker. But that's marginal. I don't think we flip the goats. Yep. This is a bit tricky. I guess we set Torrential, and if we storm, we flip the goats, and we're not happy, but it's not a disaster. This is a bit slow, but I guess it's fine, as we have good defense and good reactive cards in Nobleman and Smashing Ground. We go for Thunder Dragon, grab a Serpent. I think we could flip the Scapegoat here, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we probably should. Yep. Life points are just so valuable. Did we level 4? Cool. And we top deck the meta. That's great. Go for the meta. Nice. What a pro. Top decks the knock last game and now the meta. Right. So set the ring, play around Tsukiyomi or such. Yep. There we go. There's a Tsukiyomi. And we got there. And we did not have a nobleman. So we flipped the Thousand Eyes and just pass and sit on it. And watch them squirm as we're running out of hand size, forcing them to overextend. Pass. Set mirror force pass. Sets nobleman, perhaps saying that the nobleman can be flipped at some point and then it's not so exposed, or we're claiming that the nobleman is not as important as the chaps. I'm not sure I agree, but that's fine. Our opponent is respecting the heavy storm and just discards their Thunder Dragon. But at this point we're starting to get clogged as well. Here I think we should set the Mirror Force. Yeah. Yeah, now we're in a situation where we're both just as clogged. But we don't have any way of breaking the standstill either. The problem is if our opponent is the one who has the heavy storm. But for now I think we just gotta play along. Set the card, could set the mind control, could set the torrential. I think I'm leaning towards mind control. Not that it matters much. So we decided to set the smashing ground, also fine. Yeah, this is starting to get really annoying. I think we set the mind control now. Decides to just discard the Asura. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's rough. Our opponent has had enough. And I think we let this Deal Warlord connect because it's not hard for the Chaos Control deck to react to threats in what I as a Magic player call sorcery speed. That is with spell speed 1 effects in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, such as Chaos Sorcerer, Thousand Eyes Restrict, and in this case also Smashing Ground. A more so rare effect is cards such as Mirror Force reacting and removing the threat on the opponent's turn. And these are obviously better for protecting life points, as spell speed 1 cards allow the opponent's threats to get through for a hit before they can react to the threat, while that is not the case for cards such as Mirror Force and Torrential Tribute. Then again, if our opponent is desperate to clear this Thousand Eyes, maybe we shouldn't make it too easy for them. They don't know whether or not we're happy with the Thousand Eyes sitting on the field or not. They can probably guess that we're not too happy as we discard Asura to hand size though. Yeah, we're in a tricky spot. I would have just let it go, allow the series of exchanges that would follow to happen. But this is obviously also a fine option. Yeah, makes sense. And there we go. Another challenger approaches. This is fine. We're going to react to that with either the Smashing Ground, the Mind Control, even the Snatch Steal, or the Creature Swap. So many answers. And yeah, now we have the Bilas as well. It's so easy for this deck to react in Spell Speed 1. I think we could try the creature swap, but I'm not sure if we're playing against control or turbo. Probably turbo, but not so sure. Maybe smashing ground is just the safer option. Then we can set the Magician of Faith. Goes for the creature swap. I think it's really weird to switch it to to attack mode though, because if they have scapegoat, I mean, I guess, yeah, it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I think it might just be better because the token is always going to get swapped. Now we're not going to try and attack into it, but that's not so relevant. If we had Heavy Storm here, we wouldn't have a game for a scapegoat, but we would be close to having game here. Makes sense. We go for the mind control. Yeah, this is a risky run when to play Faith and setting it in these situations. And our opponent is going off. Let's see if they have the storm. Because if they have the storm here, I think they are quite likely to be able to just win. But maybe not. We're letting us keep a token because the Magician of Faith can't attack due to the mind control. So use Chaos Sorcerer, flip-flop Magician. We have a few options. The thing with flip-flopping Magician is that the only card that really interacts with it is Ring Art Destruction, apart from, I guess, Raigeki Break, which our opponent is likely to play if they are on turbo, which it does appear that they are. So maybe it's not that great one. But the Faith doesn't have much value, so you could say that we're just trading the book for a Break or Ring, which is a fine trade if we are of the mindset that this body is not valuable. A more passive approach would be to use Chaos Sorcerer, set the book, switch the Magician, and just pass. But at that point I feel we're just very behind in the race to who draws Heavy Storm first. And that's not a race we're going to win unless we try to proactively draw into it, I feel. That said, we don't really have any card draw in our grave. So flip-flopping the Faith doesn't actually do anything. So yeah, Chaos Sorcerer, switch the Faith, set the book, and play it slow and pray. This attack is a bit weird to me. It would be another thing if we were at like 3,300, because then we would put them in ring range. But the difference between 53 and 50 is not that huge, and this Faith could definitely be our downfall uh, if our opponent were to have a game shot of some sort. But I guess if we're planning to book it whenever it's attacked, then it doesn't matter, and we might as well push the extra 300. I guess that's fair. Oops, never mind. Now we're vulnerable. Gonna grab the Chaos Sorcerer. That felt a bit early to me. Yeah, I think that torrential was a bit too important, because we would still be at above 3000, which is a magical threshold. Seeing as Ring BLS is in this format, you don't want to go below. Still no card draw or Heavy Storm. I guess we lead with the Breaker, but it's unlikely to do much. It does kind of disguise how stuck we are though. Here we set the goats. Decides to set the Nobleman as well to disguise the goats from a potential Raigeki break. Yeah. And now we're just out of spell speed 2 answers, which I think is a lot due to us using Mirror Force and Torrential a bit lightly. I think we could have held on to those a bit more. Okay, so I think we just fire off the Graceful, pray we draw the Heavy Storm. I'm actually not against Dust Shoots here. I think the Dust Shoots look quite good. What I am against is having too many Sorcerer Speed answers. Thus I will probably let go of the one I deem the worst, which is probably the Mind Control. Could be the Smashing Ground. Matryoshka agrees. I like it. So here I think we could go for the Snatch. Yep, we agree. There's a book, but that's fine. Now we set double Dust Shoot, pass, and flip a Dust Shoot. I don't think we go for the Nobleman, I think we save it, because the Kaiko is not a threat as of right now, I believe. Unless our opponent wants to go for Tribe. At that point it's looking quite bad though, I must say. Why are the Dust Shoots to protect us from the Tribe? Or potential Asura, though I doubt we're running those. So yeah, set double Dust Shoot. Looks good. Flip one. Metamorphosis, Nobleman across at Snatch, Turn to Tribute, Knight Assailant, Magician of Faith, Kaiku. Well, it's either Faith or Kaiku. Puts Kaiku back because the Faith is not an issue, as we do have the Nobleman across out. And besides, seeing as we do have the information and we're not putting it back, maybe they won't even dare to play it, fearing a mind control. So yeah, we probably should have let them add the Serpent before flipping the Dust Shoot, not that it matters much. Question is whether or not we flip the second Dust Shoot. Probably not, because we have a good answer to the Faith. So that's either a Knight Assailant or a Faith. Doesn't matter, we're going to leave with the Pot of Greed. Okay, not perfect. Could have been worse. So can we go for a game shot here? I guess it's a bit too unlikely to work out. We have to go for the Nobleman, as we are still afraid of the Faith, and I think we might as well use the Smashing Ground here. So here I think we set the book. Mostly just to bait out Regeki breaks and such. Well, setting the Scapegoat is a bit sketchy. Leaves us very weak to Storm, but I guess we can play around that. Now, should we use the Dust Shoot? I don't think we need to. Yeah, maybe we do. Yeah, we want to get rid of the Faith. Yeah, we should. Torrential Metamorphosis, Tsukiyomi, Snatch, Steel, Sinister Serpent, Nobara Crossout. And we put back the Faith, makes a lot of sense. Okay, I guess we set the Dust Shoot. Our opponent is playing this very slow. Well, frankly, we don't really have the resources to do anything else, but... So, they have now a Regeki Break as well. We put back the Serpent, seeing as we have the Regeki Break and the Torrential, which do like having a Serpent in hand, while the Tsukuyomi is not doing much right now. We set the card, which probably is Torrential Tribute, but could be anything. Yeah, we pass back. So, our read is that their new set card is the Regeki Break and we will debate this out with the Serpent. What if it gets Nobleman? We don't care. We have already used Graceful. Bit sketchy, but I'll allow it. I'm not really sure what we're trying to protect from the nobleman by baiting it out here. Azura, yeah, that's bad. I think I agree with letting these goats go, because now the new goat can be chained to a storm. Not that that's actually an improvement, but maybe we should use the book there. I don't know. Yeah, pass. I don't like this duo. Doesn't achieve much. We're never going to snipe the Azura. Book. So our opponent has already used the ring. Yeah, but yeah, it's rough. Because we can't really summon the sorcerer as our opponent does have the snatch. Yeah, we just pass. Okay, managed to trade that off. I guess that's fair. Now we have to book, so. There's a storm. I mean, we gotta try. Yeah, this is so rough. We could flip the goats to keep us alive from the Asura, but I'm not sure that's any better. Are we going to go to game 3? That would be rough. So summon BLS, banish the Asura, or run it over, doesn't matter. Yeah, Metamorphosis, Snatch Steal, doesn't matter. Alright, we have to go for the BLS. So how do we get back into this now? Win by deck out? We have barely drawn a monster. We've all been banished. Yeah, pass. Can we make use of that Tsukiyami somehow? We can run over the TR, but I'm not sure that actually helps us. Because maybe we just want them to run our cards. We're very unlikely to be playing card destruction though, so that's a bit optimistic. I'm not sure if there's a winning line here, but perhaps. Sets the TR? Yeah, I guess that's slightly better, but this does allow them to flip, which I'm not sure is profitable. Looks a bit weird to me. And there we go, that's the game. Yeah, that was an unfortunate one. They did well to hang in there for so long. They had a million micro decisions. I didn't agree with all of them, but that's impossible when there's so many decisions that are looking similar and that are so complex. So go for grid, set double shoot, and also the goats, I think. Decides to go with only one shoot on the goats. I'm not quite sure I understand that. So we flip one shoot here. Put Asura back. The other cards are Snatch Steal, Scapegoat, Mirror Force, Nobleman of Crossout, and as already mentioned, the Tsukimi. So we're going to expect them to set Scapegoat and Mirror Force here, to which we will reply with a Kaiko, I think. Just try to trade it off for the Mirror Force, or Pro with the goats. set the dust shoot, and I think flip it immediately. You could wait, seeing as your opponent doesn't have a play and we have double nobleman. Sure, I can see that. We can wait with the dust shoot. So now I have to use the nobleman. Did we read that that was the Tsukuyomi? Or how did we know that wasn't a top decked flip monster? Maybe we're not so scared? I'm a bit scared. Could be Spy, could be Dekoichi. Okay, gets paid off well. And now we find a Tsukuyomi Snatch, Nobleman, and a Dekoichi. I'm so scared that their set monster is a flip, which it is likely to be now that we see it's Tsukuyomi in their hand. So I would put away the Tsukuyomi here and be a bit bothered that I didn't Nobleman the set. Puts the Koichi back. How do we know that it's not a flip? Didn't their opponent shuffle their hand or something? I'm not quite sure. So at this point it's quite obvious that it's not something that is lucrative to Nobleman. Or our opponent would have flip-flopped it with the Tsukuyomi. Could still be a Sangan or something, of course, but we could pass. We could set the ring. Could set Sakuretsu even. I think we should probably set the ring though. Goes for a Nobleman now. I don't understand this at all. Azure is great. Let's go with that. Because it dodges a Snatch Steal. Yep, Azure run it over. Goes for the Nobleman first. I'm not quite sure why. I guess we're afraid of Spy. Yeah, makes sense. But we should still summon the Asura first, the Pleuron Torrential. You could claim that this way we're baiting the Torrential onto the Asura, but come on. Not that it matters much. It's unlikely to be Torrential. So we did not go for the Scapegoat, which I agree with. I think we have to go for the Asura here, and if it's a Spy, that's unfortunate. Trade off. This is not so bad, as we have the spare Asura in our hand. We could set the ring, we could also not. I don't know which is better, quite frankly. Very aggressive, and this is a good target for our Metamorphosis. They can't really afford to set an additional card like a book to protect it, as that would run into a storm. We decided to do this to avoid a creature swap, I suppose. Or perhaps to ensure the dark monster ending up in the graveyard and not being banished by a chaos monster of our own. We're still going to go for the Metamorphosis. If it wasn't for the case that we have the Asura, I think the Asura is just a bit too clean not to go for. Whoa, this is very aggressive. I'm not sure what this is all about. Maybe we have a read on their set card. Well, if we think it's not Torrential, not a Battle Trap, not a Ring, it could still be Scapegoat. But in that case, we have our own Asura. Let's see if that's our play. Yeah, is this gonna work? It could work. Nice. Oh, but BLS has attack again in a row. So it actually doesn't work. No, that's too bad. Oh well, it was a nice read, though. Hmm. We still have the ring. Yeah, I can get behind this line because this was pretty much. I'm not gonna call this the worst case scenario, but seeing how our opponent played, this looked logical to me. Yep. All right. I mean, I don't agree with the line. I don't think, but I don't dislike it either. I think it's cool. Ring makes sense, of course. And there we go. Metamorphosis, creature swap. Yeah, still had all these. So thanks for the game. I think you played very well with Joshka. Please take my criticism or reactions with a grain of salt. I have not watched through this game before, and these are only my initial reactions and by no means facts. If there's anything I got wrong, please tell me so in the comment section. And if you who's watching made it through to this point in the video, please hit me up on Discord, send me your replays. If you don't know where to send one, just write a comment and I'll hit you up with my Discord tag. That's it for this one. Thanks for the replay, Matryoshka, and I'll see you guys next time.